Let's go. So, hi, this is Lisa Ely. I'm a six-figure success mentor, and I want to share with you a success from one of my clients, Shani. She's going to introduce herself, and we're going to go in. So, Shani, tell everybody who you are.
Hi, my name is Shani Blount, and I am I guess, biotech professional here in the DMV.
Awesome, awesome. So, I have a couple of questions to kind of dig into your recent success that you've had. So, what was the problem that you were having before you discovered Dare to Dream?
The problem for me was not being able to get the close on the interview. So I've always felt that I was a pretty strong interviewer, but for whatever reason, I just wasn't making it to the end and getting the offer. So that's why I decided to reach out to you to figure out what those gaps were in going from an interview to getting an offer.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me, what did the frustrations feel like as you tried to solve the problem yourself?
So for me, not just knowing, kind of seeing, what the issue was. It's hard to be subjective when you're relying on your own self to, look at what your gaps are or look at some areas of improvement. So for me, it was really hard to take a subjective view as into what I needed to do to improve myself. So I really needed to have a different perspective and an outside view of what I needed to do to really become a better interviewer.
Got it, got it. So share with me, what about the dream interview system worked for you or made ultimately the difference in you doing better in the interview and super getting an offer?
For me, the process really helped to kind of drill down some of the top things that I needed to really focus on. So, your one spreadsheet that talks about your share stories, your strengths, the questions to ask in an interview, the questions to anticipate in an interview, that really helped to build a very concise plan for me to help me organize and collect my thoughts and my responses in a more effective way.
Okay, awesome. So, what tools did you find in the toolkit that you received to be most helpful?
So again, those questions that you put together, because they were pretty much verbatim the questions that were asked. I had a series of interviews. I had three different jobs that I was going for. But those questions were consistent throughout. So really helping me to anticipate the questions and, more importantly, anticipate the answers. That worksheet was extremely helpful. And then your other worksheet that really helped to drill down some of the most important pieces of work that I wanted to focus on, some of the successes I've had in my previous roles, some of the areas of strength that I could bring to an interview or to a future position. That worksheet as well was very helpful.
Good, good. So tell me and share with me the exact moment when you realized that the dream formula worked for you.
When I received two offers from two different jobs, and then I felt that it was, wow, I went from having none to having two. So it was a great moment because I was in a position of power to negotiate based on two really, really good offers. And that really worked well for me in the end.
Good, good. So what did that feel like to have choices, like one to have none, and then suddenly now you have a choice?
So the choice, it was wonderful. It was kind of like, okay, it's not me. So it's something that, because you lose your confidence when you're going through interviews and you're not getting the offers that you want, or you're not getting an offer at all. So it was validation that it's not me, that I do bring things to the table, that I know I just needed a little bit more help and coaching and bringing those things to light during the interview. So it was very validating. It was very encouraging. And again, it gave me a position of power and control to really make the right decision for me, not based on, desperation or need, but really based on where I wanted to take my career and which position gave me the greatest opportunity to advance.
Got it. And so, one final question. Tell me what your career path and life looks like now that your problem is solved. What's the next step for you?
So the next step is really, obviously, with the new role, just thriving and learning as much as I can. But I was able to advance 2 levels. So I was able to soar through 2 levels from being a manager. Now I'm going to be a director, so that puts me in a whole different playing field 2 to 3 years from now, because that will allow me to look for even more senior levels of leadership, things that that's something that I never really thought of before. I always thought of opportunities to help me grow, but now I have an opportunity to help me grow, but in a different level of senior leadership that I did not think was attainable before. So now I'm encouraged to obviously thrive in my current role, learn as much as I can, to do as well as I can. But now my conversations beyond this role will look very different, because I've now seen myself looking for mentors in senior leadership and really working on a different skill set.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let me say this. Congratulations. I am so, so, so proud and happy for you. And not just for you, but for your family as well, because this is going to make a difference in, your energy at work, and, what you can do and what becomes available as you continue to thrive in your career. And I'm going to use these words. It does not yet appear what you shall be, because I know it's going to be magnificent. And so, thank you for taking this time to share with me on your success. And it just really just brings joy. And so, before we close out, is there anything else that you'd like to share with someone who might be teetering or considering getting some help career wise or with interviewing?
I think having the courage to do something different, right? So if you're doing something the same way, you're getting the same results, then you have to do something different. And that's what I did. I never thought about getting an executive coach or some executive teaching or instruction to help me take my career to the next level, because again, I've always been successful. Getting roles. But when I noticed that I was hitting the same roadblock and hitting the same challenges, that's when I said, okay, it's time for me to do something different, because, I've been interviewing for several months since the beginning of the year. And I got to a point where I said, okay, it's time for me to pivot and do something else. So I think people need to have the courage and just really looking at some ways to do things differently if they're getting the same results. And it's not a deficiency in their skill set. It's not something, again, for people to take and look at themselves as, okay, I'm really not as good as I thought. I think you have to really be bold in understanding that you may need some help to get from point A to point B. It may have worked in the past, but if you want to continue to excel at a different level, then you're going to have to take some different actions. So I think that's the main thing of people kind of getting out of their own way and realizing that they may need some additional help and coaching, something that they may not have considered before.
Thank you so much, Shani, for those words of encouragement. And again, congratulations as well.